Welcome back, ODHtv. We have Raising Kanan, Power Book 3, Season 4, Episode 1 is in the books. Let's jump right in. It starts off with older Kanan, played by 50, narrating what we're about to see. He says in order to know where you're going, you gotta look back, because the little details that you thought meant nothing actually turns out that they meant everything. So we go back 3 months to where Ronnie caved Unique's head in, and he's resting comfortably on his garbage bag, but it looks like he gets up almost immediately after Ronnie leaves. He's able to make his way to a phone booth to call Early Tyler to tell him that he needs a doctor and he needs her to come get him. Early Tyler takes him to a veterinarian, and he tells Early that he needs real medical services, like x-rays, because he has skull fractures.
That shit ain't gonna happen.
And that he's gonna be different when he wakes up. Early doesn't care. He wants to know if he's gonna stay alive long enough to get his money. In my other video, I thought it was a stranger, one of the Italians that took him to Early, and Early took him to a doctor, so I was almost right.
I'm always right. It's like when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm still right, because I could have been wrong.
So we gonna say I was right. Next we wind up at Cafe Vu, where older Kanan is narrating and tells us that all this we've seen already. Actually, I'm glad he said that, because during this flashback I got slightly confused and I was, oh wait a minute, this is a different perspective of what happened before. There was a lot going on in this scene. I'm going to come back with another video explaining a lot of the clues they left there. Even this weird remix of Streets Got a Body singing without jukebox.
These streets need a body.
They did a lot with the music and the dialogue here if you peeped it, but like I said, I'm going to come back with another video explaining what I saw. But Famous is definitely a dead man. If they don't end him, he's definitely going to jail. But either way, his time on this show is definitely coming up to an end. But in short, Lulu apologizes to Jukebox for not being there for the Butter audition, but Juke tells him she likes the new spot. Then the camera pans over to Aisha and Kanan, where she's bombarding him with questions about Jukebox.
That's our uncle. You ever met Juke's friend Nicole?
Did?
She cool?
No doubt.
Is she pretty? Juke's so dope. Nicole was like,
I think Kanan already realized that she liked Jukebox, but I think they gave us this part to let us know she didn't just jump into that alternate lifestyle after she got finished with Kanan. She was already in it. Now we pan over to Marvin and Shirley, who's actually talking about how cute Famous is, and Marvin says, oh, I didn't know you like younger guys, but she says she likes her men aged, which to me is like another clue saying that Famous is gonna die young. That's when Marvin gets a page from Stefano who wants to meet with him. Meanwhile, we go back to directly after when Agent Tanner was questioning Rock. Rock sees Agent Tanner talking to Howard and starts putting 2 and 2 together, realizing she needs to do something. So Early takes Unique back to his place to help him recover so he can get his money. He puts him down in the bed, and I like what they did with the next couple of things that happen here. But when he puts him in the bed, he starts mumbling incoherently, almost like talking in his sleep. And he pretty much summarizes the last 3 seasons in these next 3 statements. These my blocks. All of them. Rock gotta step the f*** off. Tell her I love her though. Tell her that. Tell her that. Then we immediately switch to Rock in the bathroom, finding out that she's pregnant with Neek's baby. I made a video last season on episode 10 where I caught it, and in the video I thought it was strange that, and in this clip from the season 3 episode 10 video, she was standing sideways. They were showing us the baby bump, and that was why I asked the question, is she pregnant? That was why I said, that wasn't there before. So her morning sickness kicks in and she looks at the pregnancy test results and she knows it's real. Marvin's beat with Stefano alone, and we know this is going to be a problem in the future because he's going to have him doing more hits. And if he's going to be Stefano's hitman, remember what 50 said back in season 2 when Lulu was getting payback from the Italian shooting Marvin.
You a hitter? You gonna get hit.
So we could take that to mean something. But Stefano has a job for him and wants him to rough up his son-in-law for embarrassing the family. He also wants them to keep it between the 2 of them and not let Rock know. But then Marvin says,
Rock ain't the king of me.
Rock's manipulation goes deep. Marvin's the oldest, but what he said is something that little kid says. Something that little kid says when he's trying to get from underneath somebody that's controlling him. And Rock has everybody's brains twisted that way.
This is for the pain.
So now that same veterinarian that took care of Unique the first time is back at Early Tyler's house telling him that he needs to be in a hospital. Then he gives him a story about a German Shepherd that they had that had similar head trauma, and when he came back, he was vicious. Bit one of the nurses, gave her stitches, and he had to be put down. Now I hope that little story wasn't foreshadowing, because I'm still of the belief that Unique is Breeze. But you know how they like to do in Power and throw us the ooh-wop nonsense and make it lead to something like this where Rock has to take him out. You know, and they introduce somebody else to be Breeze, which would be stupid. Because then they would have to build a whole new character and make us care about him so that it's a big thing when Ghost takes him out. Kanan has a book report he has to write in order to pass his class, and him not talking to Rock, he decides to go to Howard and says, yo, I want to meet your parents and write a report about them.
Hell no. Can't write about my family.
He tells him, what if somebody puts 2 and 2 together and everything starts to link back? Do you want everybody to know that you're a cop's kid? He also tells him he wants them to link up, be a little bit closer, be something to each other.
I haven't given up on you and me.
This next part is Kanan finding out that he has no choice, but he has to do his report on Elijah, his grandfather. This next scene seemed like a filler scene. I didn't see the necessity for it, but it was Jukebox having dinner with Aisha and her parents. They pretty much just grilled on what she wanted to do for the rest of her life. Rock believing that Unique is dead, she's at the clinic making plans to get rid of that kid. Makes you wonder if she would have kept it if she knew he was alive. Because in a later conversation she had with Jukebox, Jukebox asked her if she loved Unique, and she said she could have, but to keep everything to herself.
Give me the keys to one of them rides, man.
Unique is awake and he wants keys to a car so he can go let Panessa and Jerome know that he's still alive. But he's in no condition to drive. Early takes him back to bed.
Special occasion over here.
Kanan goes to see his grandmother, Rock's mom, Joyce, to get information on Elijah for his book report. She gave him information on the type of man that his grandfather was. To summarize, he was the kind of man that believed he could do anything he wanted, anything that he put his mind to. Letting Kanan know that that's the kind of man that runs through his blood. She says everyone's going to tell him a different story, but this is how she saw him. He went to Marvin with the same questions for his book report, and Marvin goes on a rant about how he was a coward because of the way he took himself out, and how he had to grow up quick without having a childhood because he had to raise Rock and Lulu by himself. But when Kanan asked him,
So you don't have no good memories of him then?
it changed his whole demeanor. He started reminiscing about when his father used to take him to boxing matches. He used to watch his father knock people out. It made him feel strong, made him feel like his father's muscles were his muscles. He said he loved him more than he loved anybody. That's why he was so hurt. He goes to Lou to ask him the same question, and he tells him, but here's something your moms and grandma don't understand about your grandpa. He was a creative.
You take nothing, turn it into something.
He told Kanan he could take nothing and turn it into something. And he always worked for himself. He was his own man and never took crap from nobody. He said he used to be mad at him for how he left, but now he understands.
Death gotta be easy, kid. His life is fucking hard.
Later that night, Kanan is putting together his book report, and Rock comes in and wants to know if he has any questions for her about Grandpa, being that she feels that she was his favorite. But he tells her he spoke to everybody and he has all the information that he needs. Rock knows that Kanan is still upset with her, but she tries to give him a little understanding by saying,
I don't need you to love me for me to love you back.
which is definitely a lesson that kids have to learn in order to move on in life. Usually you don't understand your parents and everything they've done until you get older. And Rock, in her own twisted way, really loves Kanan. Look at his face trying to figure out what the hell is going on. This scene is really what sets everything off. And ironically, the TV show Unique is watching is called Rock. And what's even crazier is the main character on this show, his name is Rock, and he was a garbage man, and he used to love when he used to find things in the trash and bring them home. Wasn't Unique found in the trash? I'm telling you, everything is done for a reason in these shows, but let's keep it going. Early comes home and gives Unique a report on what's going on out there in the world and lets her know that Rock is running everything.
It's all Rock out there.
Remember, we're still 3 months back, and he tells Unique that not only is she out there selling everything, she also working out of his old Chinese spots that he used to work out of, and his brother Ronnie is working with Kanan. This sets Unique off because earlier I told him that whoever's left out there making money is the one that did this to him. Unique, not in his right mind, can't process it properly. And he believes they all worked together with Ronnie to take him out to get the work. What's even worse is he believes Kanan made Ronnie take him out for his mother. He says that she jacks everybody she's ever been with, from DEF CON to High Post.
She plays them and she takes what they got.
So while Early is playing with his feet, Unique asks him,
You got a gat?
So Early gives Unique the weapon with the toe jam juice on it. And that's when Unique says the thing about she thinks I'm dead, but I've never been more alive. Meanwhile, Marvin shows up at Tommaso's country club, beats him up, and gives him a message from Stefano, stop messing with that girl. Also, Famous' sister comes back from California and tells Lou one day he's gonna have to forgive himself for all the things that happened that weren't his fault. Then we have Kanan talking to one of his workers. I guess he's like a union rep, letting him know that all of them want more money. He says he'll run some numbers and think about it, and when he leaves, Crystal gives him advice that his father gave him from when he used to run a health food store, saying you can't control the money that comes in, but you can control the money that goes out. She also told him that her father said,
If everyone else going one way, you go the other. That's where the opportunity is.
Then he gets a call from the hospital where his grandmother was taken. When Kanan gets to the hospital, Joyce tells him that the reason why she passed out is because she has kidney cancer, but no one else can know. Marvin goes back to see Stefano, who thanks him and tells him that he owes him one. That's definitely going to come into play later.
Oh, how are you feeling?
This scene with Rock and the counselor that they make her meet with after she deletes the kid is just another masterful performance. Every scene she's in, she takes command of. They definitely got the right actress for this. But remember, the name of the show is Raising Kanan. It's really about her. She's raising Kanan. can't get into everything that she says. I would love to be able to play it, but YouTube, so go watch this scene. This counselor thought she was going to be able to give Rock advice on how to handle things about her life. Rock wound up giving her the advice, schooling her. This is the scene where Lou almost lost his life. He's stumbling to his car drunk, and Unique is waiting for him. Luckily, Shirley came out and took him back inside because she wasn't going to let him drive. This last scene brings us back to the present where Unique was watching everybody, and he's standing over Ronnie's body. I think he pumped a few extra ones into him.
Diamonds dancing on my neck, pulling all black. Told you meet me where you at, never call back. Yes, you were more like a beauty queen, what you do to me.